So this is a very interesting. So if you've ever checked out Pint of Comics and our YouTube page, you've seen Lou and I at BoomTube Comics a lot, and we go and we do reviews and we do stuff there. It's a pandemic, so we were trying to figure out a way. It is. It's a pandemic, so we were trying to figure out a way to do this review. And initially, our thought was to use the front of BoomTube Comics as during business hours, responsibly, masks on, the whole 9 yards. Wear your mask. And it's like 100 degrees out today. So we said, let's do this via Zoom, right? Zoom in the boom boom. Just
yeah, but not in the boom. But not in the boom boom.
Yes. So today's subject is we got a new game coming out in about a week and a half at the end of July. So as you're watching this, it'll be out very soon. From the folks at Looney Labs. Now, if you've never heard of Looney Labs, started by a guy named Andy Looney, who was on the radio show last year with John and I, and he is a very, very, very smart guy. He worked for or consulted for NASA at one point, and he's a game fanatic, and he created games. He created and creates games to this day. And Looney Labs has some games that you may have heard of. We'll go over a few of them. But the one that they're probably best known for is called Fluxx. It's FLUXX. Right, 2 X's. If it was 3 X's, it'd be a different thing. And Fluxx is this game. The best way to describe it is a game of ever-changing rules and ever-changing win scenarios. Okay, so I was introduced to Fluxx through Sir John, and we played it a few times here, and it's a fantastically fun game. It's frustrating because, again, you could win in one hand, and then the next person can change everything in the next hand, all right? They have cards called keepers, goal cards, rule cards that you play with, action cards as well. The keepers are things that you want to hold on to get to a win scenario. The goal cards are the current win scenario. The rule cards change the rules constantly. So, like I was saying, you might have a win scenario in your hand ready to win, and the next person that plays a card changes the end scenario. So you're no longer going to win. It's a very cool game, and Fluxx is certainly a apt title, right, Lou? Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he had said on the radio show, if I remember correctly, last time, that people who are like very how did he put it, goal-oriented, people who like to strategize, people who like to plan their moves out ahead of time and set things up, generally don't get along with this game.
Yes.
And that happens to be me. I mean, I'm one of those types of people. Like, when all of a sudden, like, my best laid plans go to waste, you know what I mean? When one card gets played, it has a habit of irritating me. With that said, I actually did enjoy this. And I'm not normally a fan of Fluxx, but I think I enjoyed it because I played it with the kids and I played it with my wife, and the kids are huge SpongeBob fans. So the entire time they were quoting and singing and making references to the show that I didn't get, but they were laughing. So, I mean, in that sense, I did enjoy it.
All right.
And I didn't win a hand because, as always, I got screwed at the last minute.
And that's what we're here to talk about, is their new release. It's SpongeBob SquarePants Fluxx. If you want to show, look at that.
SpongeBob. Yeah.
One of the cool things about these different licenses isn't that they just slap on a picture of Batman or SpongeBob. They actually change the gameplay based on the license. So in Monty Python, there's quote cards and you're saying things like, it's not the rabbit, it's not, it's behind the rabbit, it is the rabbit, stuff like that. So Lou, why don't you talk a little bit, because you played the SpongeBob version, and this also has like a coin that comes into it, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have this nice collector's coin, basically just to signify whose turn it is. And on one side, you got SpongeBob's face, and on the other side, it says, "It's my turn." just a
Okay.
nice little addition, to add in. To your point, they also have some rules that are themed. For instance, they have a pirate talk one where if you talk like a pirate, you get to draw an extra card. And then they have the a narrator's voice card. So if you've ever watched SpongeBob, if they have that Jacques Cousteau voice, that always leads
Mhm.
in the shows. So you basically this card, if you start your turn by saying ah the so in this instance, the sea, trying to talk like Jacques Cousteau, which I can't do because I can't do a French accent. But you know what I mean? It gives you different things you can do on your turn in terms of the rules. They've also got some exclusive cards to this. According to my kids, these basically all tie into an episode where like a doodle of SpongeBob comes to life, and I guess he's like an evil twin or something.
Okay.
So you've got like the magic pencil that he got drawn with. You've got Doodle Bob himself. They've also got, let's see, Frank and Doodler is one of the goals, so you have to get SpongeBob and the magic pencil to win. And then the Mi Hoi Minoi, which is, I guess, what he says in the show. He walks around saying Mi Hoi Minoi, which has got Doodle Bob and the magic pencil.
Okay.
So it all basically kind of ties in. You've also got as a special card, Karen, who is Plankton's robo-wife.
Wow.
Also, yeah,
I've seen
it
enough
also ties
SpongeBob.
into the Plankton and the wife goal card.
Okay. All right. So again, that shows right there that your goal could be that you have to have the Plankton card and the Karen card to win, but within one round, that goal could be annihilated. There's a set rule card that every game of Fluxx starts with, and it might say that you're supposed to have 5 cards in your hand, and then you can change that with a new rule card, which might say you can't have more than 3 cards in your hand. There's all different mechanics that make this thing go crazy.
And over time, they build out on the table.
Yes.
And then you pray, if you're me, that you get the one that wipes them all out, so you can just start over again. Because at that point, you know what I mean? You're looking at it going, okay, so I got to do 3 of these, but I can play 2 of the. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those. Like that is the genius and the pain in the buttness of it all at once.
Yeah. No, I do love Fluxx. I find it to be almost at times anxiety inducing because you're not this is not a game where you could you're playing, you're having fun, but you have got to pay like laser focus attention to this thing, or you're never going to win, or someone's just going to like beat you like that because you weren't paying attention because you were so concerned about having these 2 keepers, and no, they don't matter anymore at all.
There were 2 games I lost at the very end. Like I had everything situated and my daughter was going right before me, and I'm like, okay, just got to get through her turn. Please get through her turn. And she, at the very last minute, goes, okay, I'm changing this. Here you go as a keeper. I'm done. And I'm like, I hate you. I just absolutely hate you.
Now, what's special, like Lou said, this version of SpongeBob Fluxx, it comes with the coin. It's got the 7 bonus cards. So you get that little extra add-on right there. And
one big thing in this that because I'm not the biggest Fluxx fan, but I have played it a couple of times. There's no creepers in this. So there's no win scenarios in this,
right?
Which is nice because you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, because those aren't in the original Fluxx, there's no creepers. But I know from playing in Batman Fluxx, there are creepers involved. So creeper is, like you said, it could cause a no-win situation, right?
Yeah, and it's nice to not have them there because it's one less thing you have to balance. You have to think about. I like the artwork on it. I mean, I know I showed the Evil Twin one before, but I mean the artwork is wonderful if you can kind of see it there. Almost looks like they had the actual artists of SpongeBob, or maybe Nickelodeon, had to approve everything in terms of the look and the colors and everything else. I'm not entirely sure how the licensing agreement worked, but yeah, the art is really nice. I don't know how it is in the other your Batman one or whatever, but
oh no, it's great. It's I'll show you a card here real quick just so you get an idea of the closeness to original series, or Okay, Poison Ivy right there.
Oh,
Right.
cool. That very animated
Very
series.
Bruce
Yeah,
Timm. You got
yeah.
Alfred right there.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, if you have kids, especially like because my daughter's 18, so she grew up on SpongeBob. I mean, if you've got kids who are into SpongeBob, they're going to get a whole lot of references on these cards that I honestly didn't get. And like I said, I had more fun sitting around the table listening to them quote SpongeBob
right.
and laughing because they got all the in jokes that I didn't get. I mean, if it was Monty Python Flux, I'd probably, that'd be me making all the stupid references. But they had a great time with it. So I mean, if you have kids, um, if you got kids who, like I said, who grew up on it, they'd probably have a ball with it. And it's a game that everyone can play, honestly. And there is some strategy to it, but at the same time, all your best laid plans in a heartbeat can go right out the
Yeah.
window, which
And
is one thing that.
I think I read this on the website. I know I read it somewhere. It might have been on the form they sent with me with the review copy. But a lot of these special versions of Fluxx they're doing with the coins, like they did one for Jumanji and they did one for the MCU, Marvel Heroes. Those are available at Target and I think Walmart. This one is not, from what I read. So if you are a SpongeBob fan, you're going to have to check out the other avenues to get this. You're going to have to go to Looney Labs,
Yeah.
go right to them.
The only thing I would recommend with the cards is, especially if you're doing this with kids, you may want to invest in card sleeves. The cards are, relatively durable, for adults, and if you take care of them. But kids who have a habit of being rougher on things,
Right.
they may not hold up as well. So I would definitely say if you do buy this with children in mind, especially younger ones, get some sleeves, put them in them, and that way they'll stand up a little bit longer. That's the only thing that I would add in.
All right. All right. So you heard it from here, from the pint. You heard it from John and Lou. Go out, check out Looney Labs, check out Fluxx, check out Chrononauts, check out all their great games. Lou, anything else you want to talk about?
No. I mean, honestly, just bookending it with what we're here to talk about. For somebody who has very minimal experience with Fluxx and somebody who doesn't necessarily get along with the ever-changing rules of Fluxx, I did have a fun time with it. And I honestly, I mean, if I had to put a number behind it, I would honestly say it's at least an 8.5 or a 9. In the fun scale, but your mileage may vary. I just a really nice licensed property, a fun game, and yeah, no, I mean it was a good time. So they did well on it.
All right. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
That would be SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep. And he's got his own Fluxx game. We just talked about it.
He does.
There it is. Card game, collectible coin, and 7 bonus cards. Pina Comics. We're out.